Hey, what's up, Facebook world? Hey, I'm not scripted ever, but I do want to talk about some things. So hopefully, it's Friday night, so for the most part, most people are probably out on dates or they're probably out, having some fun. It's the weekend, but I want to talk about a couple things. So happy Friday, and if you're watching the replay later on, drop a 1. If you're watching it live, drop a 2. And if you find value in this, just share it. That's all I ask. And anyways, hope you guys are having a great January. It's been 18, 19 days into the year. I have not missed one day. I'm super fired up. I committed this year that I would not miss a day, and I'm holding myself accountable to that day in and day out. But I want to talk about a couple things. It's never scripted, so I hope that whatever I say doesn't offend anybody. But I'm just gonna have a little bit of fun with you guys. So first things first. Yesterday, sometimes we get so used to things in life that we probably take them for granted. But yesterday I was really excited because I got to meet with a lot of entrepreneurs. I went to a tech conference. I got to meet so many different people. But I realized again, I was happy, or I realized again the blessing that we all have to be a part of this industry of network marketing and direct sales. A lot of times we take that for granted. When you've been full-time in this industry for a long time, it's easy to just get used to it. It's easy to just take it for granted, right? And the same thing is for those that haven't had success. If you haven't had success for a long time, it's easy to start to believe that story and not have success. And it's easy just to be complacent, and it becomes easy, and you take for granted what you really have in your hands, what you really have in your life, the one thing that could just change your life forever. What's up, Armand, my brother? What's up, Jared? So here's the thing. I'm a college dropout. I got my girlfriend pregnant when I was 18 years old. I did not do, I failed my art class in college, and that's when I was like, dude, this thing is not for me. I wasn't good, and I left, right? So I was kind of like the black sheep. But here's the thing. When I saw network marketing, to me, it was my golden ticket. To me, it was my shot. I was like, you know what? All these people getting, degrees and going to fancy colleges, I'm like, hey, that's cool. I said, but that's not my route because I'm not good. And I just didn't feel good about myself, right? So the whole point is that when I saw network marketing, I fell in love with the model. I said, you know what? This is my way out. I said, this is my ticket. This is how I'm going to become financially free one day. And granted, I really sucked at it for the first 2 or 3 years. I did not make a lot of money. My first commission check was $14, but the vision was always there. And anyways, had a ton of success over the last 9 years, and it's been exciting. But you get complacent. You start to just get comfortable with what this residual thing does for you in your life. You start to get just complacent because you have this lifestyle that allows you to travel. You have this lifestyle that allows you to wake up when you want, to go to sleep when you want, to do the things that you want. I can't remember the last time I budgeted for a meal. I can't remember the last time I budgeted for clothes or for groceries. It's been a true blessing in my life. But here's what I'll tell you. I was reminded yesterday again why this business, why this profession of direct sales and network marketing is so beautiful. Do you understand that it does take a whole ton of money to go to college? Now, if you're smart and you're going to college, then you probably have a job as well. And I'm not trying to offend those that don't have a job, but I think that in this day and age, it's almost a trap in this day and age. Why? If you look at the trends, what was popular even 10 years ago, it was this whole idea that you have to have a family, you have to buy a house, and then you have to have a job, and that's your route, right? And so as millennials have been escaping that route, what starts to happen now is people say, okay, how do we now capitalize on these millennials? And what is it? The bottom line is we start throwing money. We start to finance these college kids, or these kids to go to college. You may not qualify for a home, you may not qualify for a car, but somehow you qualify for $150,000 to go to college, or $50,000. And then they say, hey, you know what? For you to focus on your work, why don't you just not have a job, and we'll give you another loan so you can pay for your housing. And by the way, you might need a car to go to college too. So here's another loan. And over time, you start to build up a lot of money, a lot of loans that you owe. And then you graduate and then you owe all this money. And then it's like you take the job that first accepts you. You don't take the job that you want. You take the job that first accepts you because maybe you went to college with this idea that this is the job I want. And then when you graduate, you can't get that job. So you have to settle for something different. And then when you settle for something different, what begins to happen is you're unhappy. When you're unhappy, you start to maybe eat more. You start to watch more TV. You start to really become complacent in your life. And then just one day you realize that you're not happy. Right? And so that's the trap in my opinion. I'm not saying don't go to college. Go to college if you have that direct path. But I'm telling you why I got reminded again of why this industry is so beautiful. Like if I was 21 years old and I was this college dropout and someone said, hey, you know what? You should start a business. Like you should go and get a loan for $100,000 and go rent out this little office space and try to start a business. Are you kidding me? Did I have $100,000? Heck no. But I did have desire. I did have a willingness to do something. And so here comes this model of network marketing, which says what? It says, hey, this is the company. We've set up the name. We've set up the branding. We've formulated the product. We manufacture this whole thing and we'll ship it to your customers and to your distributors. And all you got to do is go open your mouth and talk about it, right? Like that's all we do. Like we don't have to worry about accounting. We don't have to worry about manufacturing, formulating new products, marketing, behind the scenes. We don't have to worry about any corporate infrastructure. We don't have to worry about hiring reps to handle customer service call. All we do is we pay for our product and we go talk about our product, about why we're so excited about our product, the results on our product. And then we think we have it hard because someone told you no your first week. We think we say, oh, you have it hard because someone told you no, like you're not rich in month 6, you're not rich month 12. But let me tell you something. Try to go back now and go get a loan of $100,000 and start a business. See what happens when things get hard, right? See what happens when you go to college and you graduate, you get all these loans, and now you can't pay them. I think that's hard. Imagine graduating from college, having $150,000 in debt, getting a job that you hate, having no impact, feeling no passion, feeling no desire to change the world, and you're just there because you have to, because you owe all this money. And by the way, you can't even file for bankruptcy. Why? Because that money that you owe is attached to your name forever. Like forever. It doesn't matter how many times you apply for bankruptcy. Doesn't matter. You declare bankruptcy, you owe that for the rest of your life. And then you meet a beautiful girl, you get married, you start to have kids, and then guess what happens now? Now you need to get on a healthcare plan. And now all of a sudden the healthcare now is going up. Now you owe another $600-700 per month just to make sure that when your kids get sick and you go to the hospital, you can afford it or they can take care of them. So it's pure passion, like what we do here in network marketing. If you don't have passion for it, that's okay. This may not be your route, and that's okay too. There's tons of way to make money. I was told by a mega millionaire, there's a million ways to make $1 million, but pick one and focus and go. And I'm not gonna say it's easy. It's hard. You know, people quit. People tell you no. There's rejection all the time. You know, for the most part, it's always like this. You're alone. You're lonely in the beginning. It might take years before your group pops off, right? But guess what? If you quit today, you're not in $150,000 in debt. When you quit today, you can go choose to do something else. When you quit today, you're not stuck with hundreds of thousands of dollars of inventory, stuck in a manufacturing facility. You're not stuck with all the headaches of accounting. You're not stuck getting audited by the IRS. You're not stuck with all those things. Please go. Okay, go potty. My daughter always announces to me that she needs to potty, so she's gonna go potty. In case you guys wanted to know. Okay, so the whole point is like, try to look back as to why you joined this industry in the first place. Like, try to figure out. Hold on one sec. One sec, guys. Okay. So, okay, so try to figure out why you got started in the first place. Like, remind yourself why you're excited again. Like, remind yourself, more importantly, what this could do for you. Because I'll tell you one thing, when my daughter was born, I had to take her to Walmart so that she could play with the toys there. And then I had to take her home because I didn't have the money to buy the toys, right? And then I don't know what happened. It's like my life changed, my business took off, and then it's like, you know, you're just splurging, and it's not always the smartest thing. I think the smartest thing to do is reinvest your money into your business, into other things. But the whole point of it is sometimes you get complacent. Sometimes you take it for granted, right? And you could be complaining about your company right now. Like you could be saying, "Gosh, I'm not making any money in my company right now." But let me ask you this question, okay? If someone came up to you today, right? Let's say God came up to you today. I don't know what you believe in. God, Buddha, a frog, a cow, it doesn't matter. To me, if you believe in something, you believe in it. But let's say God came up to you today and said, "Hey, listen, I know you don't like your network marketing company. I know you've been complaining about it for the last couple months, but guess what? From here on out, all opportunity is taken from you. You either make it in your company or you don't make it at all." Like, if you had no choice but to build your business, and that was the only way you'd ever have the path to financial freedom, if that was the only way you ever had the path to time freedom, you'd figure a way out to make it work, right? And you got to challenge yourself mentally sometimes that way to make yourself think and act differently, right? You got to play mind games with yourself. Like you have to say, "Hey, like if I don't get 2 customers this week, like I'm not going out." And if you hold yourself accountable, right? Because a lot of people talk about rewards and punishment because there's always rewards to what you do. The problem is there's really no punishment sometimes from yourself. Like if you go out and get 2 customers, the week after that, the company sends you a commission check. But if you don't go out and get 2 customers, they don't send you a commission check, but there's really no punishment. Like you can still go out and do whatever you want. But if you learn to punish yourself, and maybe punish is too hard of a word, but if you start to say, "Hey, I'm going to achieve this. And if I do, I'm going to reward myself with this new car. I'm going to reward myself with this new house. I'm going to reward myself with this new wardrobe." And you stick to it. And you get it, you stick to it. If you don't, you don't. Period. Even if you can afford it, right? You got to play mind games with yourself so that you can act differently, think differently, and just have that sense of urgency. So anyways, I'm getting off topic. But the whole point is that you have to get re-excited. You have to get reminded about why you joined this industry in the first place. Okay, so drop a 1 in the comments if you're extremely excited about network marketing. Drop a 1 in the comments if you're extremely fired up about direct selling. Drop a 1 in the comments even though things may be hard sometimes, that it's absolutely worth it to build this business. For those of you that have made income, like drop a 1 in the comments below if all the headaches, all the failures, all the people that quit, all your struggles, if it was worth it in the end. And if it was, drop a 1 in the comments. Because I'll tell you, for me, I could drop a 1 all day long, baby. It's worth it, man. Ladies and gentlemen, it's worth it. Like, I get to hang out all day with my kids. When people ask me, "Hey, what do you do?" It's like, hey, I'm basically a full-time babysitter. I'm playing tea parties with my daughter. I'm playing Nerf wars with my son. I'm just hanging out. Of course, I'm building my business in the pockets that I set up throughout the day. However, it's absolutely worth it. And it may take time for that to pop off, but it is worth it, okay? The next thing I want to talk about is drinking the Kool-Aid, okay? Drinking the Kool-Aid, okay? Because you have to drink the Kool-Aid, period, okay? And what I mean by that is this. Like, let's say your product is, I don't know, it could be, just picture like an energy drink can. Picture an energy drink can. Like, you better be so excited about that energy drink can. Like, you better be so dang passionate and excited about that you're drinking 4, 5, 6 a day because you believe in your product. You're drinking the Kool-Aid. You got to know that when you send your product to someone or when they experience it for the first time, you know. You don't even got to ask them how amazing they feel. You know they feel amazing. Like, you got to just pour that on. Like, you got to, like, shower on your energy drink. Like, do whatever you have to do to just immerse yourself in your product, to immerse yourself in the business. Like, what happens? A customer says, "Hey, you know what? Your product's okay, but, you know, I didn't like it much." And then you go and you cry. You're like, "Oh, man, like, no one liked my product, blah, blah, blah." Well, you're not mentally tough yet. You got to drink your own Kool-Aid. You got to know that you're the best. You got to know that your company's the best. You got to know that your product's the best. You got to take 2 energy drink cans and just pour it on yourself every single morning and just get excited about this industry. Get excited about your product and know that so much greatness is coming from it. Know that you're impacting so many people all over the world, right? But you got to drink the Kool-Aid. Whatever it is, I don't care if your product is weight loss product, shower in that. Put some, put up a bathtub, light some candles, and pour your shake into it. You just gotta drink your Kool-Aid. The whole point is you gotta drink your Kool-Aid, right? Like, you gotta drink your own Kool-Aid. You gotta, like, a lot of people may say, oh man, like, you're so cocky or whatever. So what? Like, I'm freaking confident as can be as to where I'm going. So it's like, it's just you're not confident. Therefore, you're telling me that I'm cocky. That's just weakness in you, man. It's really all it is. There's nothing wrong with me. Like, I'm just confident in what I do. I'm confident in myself. I'm confident that I pick up the phone and I put 10 people on a conference call. All of them are going to order my product. Like, I have to tell myself these things. Why? Because you got to be your own cheerleader, right? Like, you think someone's going to knock on your door and be like, dude, you're great. You're awesome. No, for the most part, no. You got to look at yourself in the mirror and you got to get fired up. You got to just tell yourself, hey, I am the best. I am the greatest. I speak with confidence. I speak with conviction. Like, no one, like, you got to just literally just sell yourself on yourself. And then you got to sell yourself on your product. And then you got to do that every single day. And then you got to share that day in and day out. Day in and day out. And then one day you achieve financial success and you're just fired up. You're just living a life of freedom, right? And it may happen in 3 months. It may happen in 10 months. It may happen in 2 years. But at some point, it is going to happen, period, right? The last thing I want to talk about is this thing called flow. Flow is a concept I read about in a Brian Tracy book. And by the way, if I'm adding any value at all to anyone that's listening to this on a replay or live, drop a 4 in the comments if you're getting value from this live, because, man, I like to hear myself talk. I'm finding value from it. But, so let me get into this thing. This thing called state of flow. Now, I've been reading a lot of Brian Tracy books, like a ton of Brian Tracy books lately, and there's this book called Millionaire Habits, right? And if you want the PDF, just send me an inbox and I'll send you the PDF document, because I actually found it on Google. See, and that's the other thing. Like, you got to just work for it, man. You got to figure it out. A lot of people are like, oh, I don't know how to talk to people. Go talk to people. Like, learn, figure it out. Like, no one, like Brian Tracy didn't knock at my doorstep and said, hey, let me give you the link to the PDF called Millionaire Habits. No, like, I read a book where he talks about that book, and I went on to Google and I researched it and I found it and I downloaded it and I read it. Okay, so figure it out. But the next thing I'm going to talk about is a state called flow. So there's a chapter called flow, and flow is the state that you want to put yourself in, because that's the state that's going to really catapult you to just everything that you want in life. So the state of flow just basically means this. Okay, now you got to be a master of your calendar. Why? You got to hold yourself accountable. So let me give you an example, right? Like in my calendar here, I've made a grid. Okay, I made a grid on this side. And that's like 10 habits that I have to do every single day, right? Because habits either make you rich or habits make you poor. Habits make you skinny or habits make you fat, right? It's all about your habits. So I have this grid, and every single day when I wake up, I have to check off like the things throughout the day. And at the very end of the day, I have to look back at this and be like, dude, I did it all. And guess what? My commitment this year was that I was not going to miss a day. My commitment this year was that I was just going to have a breakthrough in my life. I said, you know what? I'm going to go on a different eating diet. I'm going to eat differently. And then I said, should I have maybe one cheat meal a week or maybe one cheat meal a month? No, I said no cheat meals this year. I'm just going to go full throttle because I want to challenge myself. Anyways, this whole state of flow just means that it's like a quantum leap in life, right? Like a quantum leap just basically means that something that's going at a certain speed for a consistent amount of time all of a sudden ends up somewhere else, virtually like this, right? It's like what's it called? I don't even know an example right now, but it's like something that you continually do over time. All of a sudden, it just propels itself to a next level. So this state of flow just basically says that in business, in sales specifically, inside of network marketing, direct sales, if you're doing something consistently every single day and you're doing it obsessively every single day, it could be like month 2 or month 3 where all of a sudden something magical just happens. And all of a sudden your mind, your brain taps into a different source of energy, taps into this thing called flow. And the reason why they call it flow is because all of a sudden money starts to flow your way, Prospects start to flow your way. Customers start to flow your way. Success starts to flow your way. This is the state of flow. Now, this is like scientific stuff. Like, read the book. It talks about that if you work at something, especially in sales, and you're out there and you're talking to people and you're following up with people and you're doing it consistently every single day, you don't know when that state is going to happen for you. But one day, all of a sudden, like, people just start pouring in. People just start pouring into your business. Customers start pouring into your business. Distributors start pouring into your business. Tons of money starts to pour into your bank account when just like 3 months ago, you might have been broke. It's like what Jordan Adler talks about, where all of a sudden his checks went to like $34,000 a month. And like a few months before, he was eating mac and cheese because that's all he could afford. So the same thing I'll tell you, like for me, that state kicked in November of 2016. Is when I saw it come in more aggressively, where all of a sudden things started coming easily, right? Sometimes we say, oh, this business is not easy. Well, it can be pretty dang easy. Like if you work at it hard in the beginning, all of a sudden you get into the state and things just start to flow your way. Things start to happen where all of a sudden like your team just like this whole different energy just takes on, and boom, like your life changes forever. You got to get yourself in that state. And the mistake that most people make is what? It's the lack of inconsistency, is the amount of doubt that they have in themselves. It's like waking up and saying, man, I want to tackle my business today, but you're so dang scared that you don't do it. That you rather just sit on the couch and watch TV, not because you really want to, but because you've just gotten to that point where you're so scared, you're so doubtful in yourself. You got to get rid of that. And I can't really tell you how to get rid of that. I can only tell you what I've done, because I was scared to talk to people my whole life, and all I did was I just kept talking to people. You suck at something, keep doing it until you're good at it. Like someone asked me the other day, what do you do when someone tells you no? And I said, I don't know, because it's not that people don't tell me no, but it's that I don't even register it in my mind as a no. I don't know what I register it as. I'll have to figure it out next time, what really goes on in my brain when that happens. But like, I've gotten into such a consistency of always talking to people, always following up with people, that things just happen. Like magic happens all the time for me. So anyways, that's just a little Friday Night Live, which reminds me, like, one of my goals this year is to put out, 365 videos on YouTube, 2 Facebook Lives per week. And so my buddy wants to hang out tomorrow. I'm probably going to be gone all day. So I figure if I don't do it tomorrow, if I don't do it right now, I'm not going to do it, and then I'm not going to hold myself accountable. I can't miss. Don't let yourself miss. Like, figure out what works for you. Maybe you don't want to get all crazy like me. Maybe you don't want to make a huge amount of income in this business. Maybe you're cool with $500 a month, and that's cool too. But figure out what matches. Like, figure out the activity that will match your goal and go for it. Don't go crazy if you're not wanting crazy money, right? Crazy people make crazy money. But anyways, with that being said, I hope everyone has a Friday night. And if you're watching this live, share it. If you're watching the replay, share it. And if you are getting value from this at all, drop a 4 in the comments. And I hope everyone has a great Friday. Have fun. Hang out with your family. Don't be on the phone all the time. Put it away. Like when you go out to the movies, don't take your phone with you. Put it away. If you're going, like, just put your phone away for a minute and focus on what's going on in front of you and tap in that state of flow. Get gratitude again for this industry. And hey, pour the Kool-Aid, man. Pour the Kool-Aid this weekend and just get crazy. So with that, have a great evening.